Good morning, my lovely friends. Trying to make my hat look less hatty. I don't know. It's probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Probably closer to 9. Walked the dogs. Got woken up with the dogs squabbling. I made a mistake and left Khaleesi with a bone in the building. So as soon as they kind of get into a preferred space, treasured spot, and there's a bone that someone's guarding, which Khaleesi loves to guard her bones. Tor just loves to steal them, so it works well or not so well depending on which side you look from. But yeah, so I got woken up with them fighting over this bone, and it sounds a lot worse than it is. Knocking things over. 2 lamps don't work anymore. Hopefully it's just the bulbs. And then I took them out for a walk, and they squabbled at the walk, so I took them back. And I walked them separately, so I just got back from that. And I wanted to talk to you guys because I got some realizations. So even though it's snowing, I don't know if you can, these cameras are not that great. Oh yeah, you can. See the snow? So even though it's snowing, I'm considering washing my hair. I just feel like I need to. I was going to wash my hair at a friend's place the other night, and I just got lost in talking and being cozy by the fire. Oh my God. I tell you, as soon as I have my wood fire, my wood stove, I'm going to be in heaven, because I went to Karen's place, and she's got this cordwood or stack wall, depending on which term you use, house. Oh my God, to be in there is just, it's healing just being in it. And I lost myself chatting with Karen by the fire, sipping on mint tea and eating a homemade muffin. And I was in heaven. I could feel myself sort of healing. And those of you that don't know or haven't heard about little details, I mentioned a long time ago. I wouldn't have remembered. But Karen lost her husband this just months before Raven left, and we have each other as neighbors, not too far away. It's about a 5-minute drive, maybe a 20-minute walk, and just getting pine needles or whatever needles out of the balsam fir needles out of the water that I might wash my hair with. But anyway, so I had like absolutely, I think about it and I get teary. It's that it was just so simple and so beautiful and so healing. Just having a good friend, a cozy, warm, natural home. In this case, they made it themselves with the help of some workers, and over a period of, I think 3 months, which is amazing. I look at something like that and I just get really daunted by it. It just, I've just never done anything like that. And I'm sure Karen didn't either. But some people just get out there and do it, even if they don't have a lot of money. And it's something I got to get over. And it's something I'm pushing into. Is like, why do I get so intimidated by some of this stuff? It's all the permits and the fees and the whatever. I just feel like I'm going to get ripped to the shreds. And now that wood's so expensive for building, lumber, I should say, although lumber is wood. Yeah, so that's one of my fear zones that I have to push into. But boy, being in front of that old wood stove, just, oh God. Oh, it's heaven. And the warmth, and the wood, the naturalness of everything. It was just beautiful. But anyway, so that was my wonderful evening, and I just ended up not having a bath and wash my hair. I was just taking in this other kind of spiritual cleansing. So thank you, Karen. Oh, and what else? Is that everything besides what I wanted to talk about? Get all my little bits of news out the way. I'm trying to pull out the last little needles. Anyway, so get my water. So It's nice when I have a tripod. Maybe I should get it. So I want to be able to talk freely. I have some really cool ideas that came to me. It'd be nice if they could come in less difficult times, but they did come nonetheless, and I'm very grateful. And I want to share them with you as soon as after I realize them. Real eyes. More real than ones in front of my head, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing another one of the green coffee bean roasts that my sister Hannah sent me. Oh, she's doing so well in Mexico, in some little town, village, all by herself, just doing her thing. It's amazing. People are finding their strength, some people, and they're just getting out there and doing what they never would do otherwise, even with all the restrictions. I mean, imagine a woman by herself in Mexico, just dealing, but not just dealing, but building a business and getting to know people, learning Spanish. Pretty amazing. So, I should really have a chair to talk as well, shouldn't I? Not too far away. Oh, no, actually, there's a chair. I don't want to bring it up. Forget it. I'm going to stand. Keep my eyes on this stuff. It's starting to get warm already. Good. Maybe I'll get all my coffee beans out. Should really have got my cream as well. Because as you know, anyone that watches my coffee videos, I always end up having to go and get cream. So, anyways, wow, that's good. Went through a little phase of drinking these bubblies, and it's not because I want to drink and waste cans and create more garbage and all that. I kind of don't care for that, but my friend Miranda brought them over one time it became an imprint while Raven was here and everyone was mustering around and doing things. And that's when they set up my little area, which was such a good gift. Oh. So anyways, I just had a thought there, but I'm not going to share it. It's not complete. So October 31st, I worked my butt off trying to get that pumpkin finished, the lantern ready to put out overnight for Raven, and to guide her, to show her we care, to reach out for deeper communication, just communicating, just reaching into unknown areas, growing, facing fears, and clearing fears, and realigning and transmuting, and any kind of positive change. That's what that lantern invited, and that's the intentions I put into it while I was making it. And it was difficult because as I was doing it, this is my main point, is I started to get more emotional. I started to feel a bit depressed. It was kind of grueling at times working on the pumpkin, and I even at the end, I should have caught that right away, but it took me a while to reflect on it, to figure it out, that I looked at it finished and I didn't feel good about it. I had moments of just not feeling quite pleased and feeling almost embarrassed about it, like thinking, oh, last year's was better than this year's. And I now realized if I caught it right away, that was something leaking in, emotions. It wasn't the me that I have cleared a path for, you might say. It was old trappings, old patterns of me for sure. As a child, I didn't, I would not like things of mine. It was all part of the effects of the abuse I got from my father and anything and anywhere else. I was also a very sensitive child. Some people get angry when they get abused. Some people get fearful. Well, anyways, that was not the point. That was just to kind of point that out. And So anyways, this pumpkin, and I was up near the end, and this built this feeling, the emotional content, the fears, little bits of stuff. But what I realized looking back on it was, that was stuff, impurities, gunk coming up to the surface, ideally to be cleared if I'm conscious of it and able to, but I didn't catch it right away. I was caught in the trance. So I became that feeling. I became those emotions, which is why it was so difficult to be them, because then you feel like you're trapped by them because you are them, not that they're just floating by, and you let them go with love, always with love, not getting angry. They were parts of you, conditioned. Maybe they served, most likely they served an important role at one point. So it's important. I learned this from Elie Wiesel of core belief engineering, that these parts of you are very real, and sometimes they need to just be released. Sometimes you can give them a different job. They feel like they need to be valuable. It's like my dogs, they're guardian, livestock guardian dogs. They need to take care, watch, protect animals, and if not animals, others. And like if Tor doesn't get, he has his chickens and he watches them. He lies there next to the fence and watches the chickens. He needs to do that. Unfortunately, Khaleesi skipped a gene there somewhere, and her genetics go to where they had to hunt for small animals to survive way back, and they only protected sheep. So she skipped that newer gene that opened Tor to wanting to take care of the chickens. And that's the beautiful, I'm going off on a tangent, I know, a really quick little capsule here. That's the beauty of landrace variants. They're not a breed, and they have what I read in a book on it once was they have a genetic vault full of all this wonderful genetic material that can come up and adapt to whatever is needed. So this is something that I saw the parallel between that and us, and how I feel, my personal feelings is that we're being pushed towards the kind of breed of dog, in the case of dogs, because I'm talking about dogs, like a Dalmatian or something that gets sick easily. It's just been overbred. It's not so smart. It's dumb enough to run into fire. All these things you hear. And if someone's out there is a Dalmatian lover, I'm sorry, I probably am not that accurate. I'm not a Dalmatian specialist, but I remember these things. And if it is a problem and I was a bit wrong, just take the general concept. There are animals bred like this. And then there are the landrace variants that are a lot more intelligent. Now their genetics, their instincts are much more hardwired into them. They need to do these things. They're not as flexible, but except for in their genetics. So I feel that we're kind of being pushed that way. No conspiracy. It's not anything weird. I mean, if you were trying to manage masses of people, wouldn't you want to, if you didn't have a deep spiritual insight into things, wouldn't you just go, let's just make it easier. It's getting difficult. Let's just try and dumb them down a little bit. Or not even dumb, but just make them not want to think outside of the box, and they'll just move like machines, and yes, and stuff. They'll still be pleasant people. They'll still whatever, have families, do whatever. Maybe that's with you. I'm just trying to normalize things as much as I can, because I don't want any polarized stuff coming at me. I'm open to anything, you know. So I'm carving my pumpkin. All these emotions are coming up, and I came to a realization that, I mean, it wasn't just like that. It was a few other little things, but I came to a realization that what I had already developed and researched and pulled together, and from that inspiration, did my first lantern, and had all the focus and the meaning, and I was onto something, and I knew even more I was onto it when this happened. So, and this is also during All Hallows Eve, Samhain, as now Halloween. People say it's when the veils between the worlds are the thinnest. Now, I was taking it a little literally, And I do believe that, as my intentions were working with Raven, yes, that is the case. I have nothing that says to me that it wasn't. But I think also now, I believe also now, I feel it. So I'm inclined to know it, but I'm still leaving myself open to any possibility. I now feel that me doing the pumpkin carving with my intentions, even only focused on reaching Raven and others, it's also reaching me. And that makes sense if we're all connected in some way. I know that when I work on a client, whatever their healing needs are, their symbolism, it's somehow for me as well, in a little bit more temporary way, coming through. So why wouldn't this be the same? So here I am carving the pumpkin lantern with my intentions. I'm putting all my intentions in there. Conjuring comes to mind. Gotta look that word up. But I now realize, and with the sacred geometry that I do purposefully for that connecting with the planet, with nature, with us that are nature, or at least with the nature that is within us, because we're losing contact with it. So I'm weaving all that. I'm weaving it all together. I'm connecting. I'm pulling in. I'm bringing messages in. I'm sending them out. I'm tuning in, and I'm opening myself as much as I can. And I'm getting these emotions, and they're difficult, but I'm plugging through because I got to get this done. And I finished it by 10 o'clock that night. I did, even with everything else I had to do, and how cold it was, and everything else that came at me. So my realization was, and is, that this works in us. So if I'm, as I was, sitting there carving this with my sacred geometry, and I think the sacred geometry is a necessary thing in what I'm finding. I guess some experiments need to be done, but you reach yourself. The veils are the thinnest also between you and your subconscious, between you and your old programs, between you, the old you, and the new you, between you on this limited dimension and the multiple yous in multiple dimensions and realities and potential realities and past and present and future realities. You can reach all of them through this work. It happened. And I'm going to pursue that over this year. A lot of exercises working on through the winter, because I want next year to take it to the next level. And I would like to do a small workshop. I don't know, let's have 11 people, me and 10 others or something. I like 11. But so everyone could come, bring the pumpkins. Hopefully I have a warm place by then. We'll figure a place to go to if I don't. And we can do internal work, internal healing. And I've also got another aspect that I just feel wants to be part of this, because it happened. It came to me exactly at the same time. I had a client. It came, my brain with numbers and stuff right now. It was just before I finished carving, so I'm gonna guess it was the 30th. So I tattooed, very small tattoo on my client, 30th. Very good friend, and he's into historical recreation, for a really simple way of putting it, but with a more spiritual approach. And he's living in a yurt, and he's roughing it at least as much as me. And he has PTSD, as many of my clients who come to me do. And he's working through it beautifully, living in his yurt, and he's building himself. He's connecting through these historical recreations and finding things that he aligns with and becomes part of them, and they become part of him. And anyway, so he brought something with him, and he mentioned it, and some little something about it, enough that caught my ear, caught my eye, and I'm like, I gotta see this. You brought it with you? Yeah. Okay, well, you'll have to show me later. And well, I'll tell you about it. No, sometimes I say too much too soon. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you. except that it's an instrument of sorts. It's shamanic, like Siberian shamanism, shamanic, the real word, not misusing the word or anything. And just the way it came to me, the coincidence, and the description of what it was for, and well, it's for communicating, shamanic form of communication with those beyond, spirits, souls, whatever, used in their healings. And some of you probably know what it is, but I'm not going to confirm it even if you guess. And anyway, so he showed me his and he played it, and I watched some stuff on YouTube, and it's friggin' amazing. And it's an instrument. I always wanted to play an instrument of some sort. I always wanted to make some instruments, and I have completed the first step of making an order from Siberia for this shamanic instrument that I intend to work with this winter, to see whether it will work in conjunction with this amazing sort of ceremony that I'm putting together from direct experience. Just want to make sure my dog hasn't gotten through, because that can be a I think I'm okay. There's just a couple of sounds from the barn moving as the little bit of frozen ice defrosts, I think. Okay, so let me just figure out. I had the 18 rabbit washed Honduras organic yesterday. It was very lovely. I'd have to look up what this rabbit thing is. I'm sure they don't use rabbits, just in case anyone gets all worked up about that. So I'm going to try the Guatemala Huehuetenango FTO. I'm going to guess it's how they processed it, how they cleaned it, washed it, and stuff. So, as in, we say there was the Costa Rican one, my favorite, which is the black honey. It's a process of cleaning the beans. I'd like to read up on it more. But I've got lots of dreams, folks. I've got lots of dreams. And we're going to make them all come true, I tell you. Against all odds. And I'm sharing this because it's just field work. I'm learning as I go. I make mistakes. There's nothing I'm claiming, but you guys can learn a lot from someone else's mistakes, so you don't have to do them yourself. And who knows? Maybe we can all gain from something, and then you might share something with me, and you know, I think this is how the world, the new way things should go. That's my ideas anyways. So I'm doing my Honduras organic, whatever that word was, process. And just to finish up on this work, I want to work with this instrument over the winter. Next year, if I get inspired enough, I'm going to make a bunch and carve them and offer them as best of a sale as I can give, as best of a price I can give, to make them available to people that want to do this work. I'm anticipating it's going to be phenomenal. It goes so well with soul prints, experience, the waiting for that time of year, October 31st, just before, just after Day of the Dead, Mexico, they all recognize this general aspect that I want to work with. So those, think about it, those that want to be a part of this, let me know, and then I'll more seriously consider it for next year. But I'm thinking a group of 10. We get pumpkins, and I work with you, and we work on this. Maybe a couple of days, because it's not the quickest process. It's easy to get some simple tools, not expensive. I'll put a little list together to get pumpkins, the whole thing. You can get pumpkins pretty cheap. You have to look around a lot to get a good one that's not expensive. But I think this would be really cool. It doesn't have to mean that you have gotten a soul print from me to do this workshop, but it definitely would add, because then you're just taking it further in the exploration. But yeah, I can feel it. It's like taking this to the next level. It was not fun. And I'm still pulling through. I've still got some emotional stuff that I'm clearing. You know, it was still a bit of a difficult sleep. It felt wonderful. Karen invited me over. She knew I was feeling a bit off, and she was just being loving neighbor. And I'm so grateful for that. But I'm pretty sure I pulled that stuff up through the work I did with the lantern. And I think the intentions, maybe the intentions not being about myself helped it, you know, doing it for Raven and putting the lantern out for her to guide her. But yeah, it works on the internal. It's amazing for clearing shit out. And I'd love to invite 10 people to also then share what their experiences are with this. And maybe we can have this instrument there, you know, to play, for other people to try. People can all have a go at it, see how it works for them. I'm just thinking that it might just amplify it and allow stuff to move even freer. And we can do some things to enhance the effects of the negative stuff coming up, leaving, clearing. We have a nice, clear, protective circle for our energies and affirmations. We'll put it all together. We'll do it really well. And then we'll all share what our results were over time as well. And I'd just really like to find out. And then from that, I can upgrade the next year's workshop and so on. And we can expand it. And maybe some people that have gotten good at it can then help me out, and we can have more people and so on if it really works out that well. So that's what I wanted to share. And it's snowing a little bit more now. But I am going to say goodbye, because I want to. Pretty dark, eh? I want to say goodbye because I need to make my coffee and eat. And it's getting close to the time that my client's going to get here. So, adios, muchachos. And that's for my sister Hannah in Mexico. Have a wonderful day. Face your fears. They can't hurt you. Remember that. They can't hurt you. Help others that you can tell are being challenged emotionally, mentally through these difficult times. Share, get someone a coffee, like whatever, you know, buy someone a coffee on the street. To just be a good person and just be open and sensitive. Doesn't mean you have to be manipulated and used to be like that. You know, there's a way to do it with boundaries. But a lot of people are holding a lot of stuff in that you don't know about. Maybe it's you as well. But we're only going to heal if we heal ourselves and each other. No big organization is going to do this kind of healing for us. We got to do it for ourselves. And the sooner we get onto it, the better. And the sooner we erase these divisions and polarizations and stuff, the better as well. This is ridiculous. We've kind of been tricked into it somehow, you know. We're so caught up. I was guilty. I was so caught up in what I felt I needed to fight for and believe in and whatever, that I just ended up snapping at people that I loved, I knew for years, you know, and get into arguments and stuff. Some of them I wasn't so friends with, and other ones I was. Some I didn't know, and it didn't matter. But any of you that I had a good relationship with before, and I got into an argument with you, and I haven't communicated with later, only because I've just been so busy. I'm sorry for my part of whatever, and I love you. I love everyone, different ways, obviously, not in a flaky new age way. it's in a having been through a lot in a short time kind of way. So it's real. I'm speaking from my truth. And I'm now going to have a wonderful coffee. So goodbye. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.